Hello, and we say a fantastic day to each and every one of you. We are the Pleiadian Council, and we speak on behalf of a galactic alliance supporting your world in this process of awakening, of ascension. It is a gift, it is an honor, it is a blessing to be able to co-create with you in this way, and we thank you for allowing us to be present with you. As we interact, there's a bridge open between our realities that allows for energy to exchange, and both you and ourselves grow and evolve through the reflections we offer each other. For this, again, we offer our thanks. Your world is going through a wondrous shift that sometimes does not always seem that wonderful. As when the energies rise and more light moves through your planet and your bodies at a cellular level, there's also a release of the old patterns that need to be transformed, and there is certainly much to transform in your world. Our main core teaching for your planet, what we hope most of you can grasp and integrate, because it will carry the rest of your lives in wonderful ways, is this formula we share, and that is to act upon your own highest passion to the best of your ability without insisting on a particular outcome. This is enough to open and connect you with your own higher self. Your higher self is communicating to you through this energy of excitement, of passion, of love that you experience in your own heart. And this energy is your intuition guiding you to the places, the experiences, and the connections that would serve you more than anything else. This experience of loving excitement is designed to intuitively guide you. Yet, in your world, you've made the mistake of listening so much to the head before trusting the guidance of the heart. And by making this shift to live from a heart-based place and allowing the head to follow the heart, powerful shifts will take place for you and for those who are inspired by that shift. Now, the second part of the formula is to act on your passion to the best of your ability. That is very much connected with allowing the head to follow the heart. Within your head, you have knowledge, skills, capabilities, and these are all important for you to do what you are designed to do. When you allow your head to listen to your heart and to be persistent in applying your passion again and again, you will find the solutions and the pathways. You have to have that attitude of persistence, of openness to all of the possibilities, and openness to all of the resources within you and around you to make your heart's passion grounded in reality. The last part is one that sometimes you find most difficult, and that is to let go of insistence on particular outcomes. It is to recognize that the purpose of acting in the first place is to bring yourself into this higher frequency of love. And the moment that you demand that the universe provides you exactly what you want, that is the moment that you constrict the love and cut off the love. And you might have been doing so many wonderful things up into the point that this insistence comes in, and all of a sudden your frequency plummets. And this is why many of your traditions speak so powerfully about the importance of non-attachment, the importance of being able to let go, the importance of recognizing that your desires, when you don't observe them closely, can pull you. And the masterful way is to allow yourself to know when it is time to let go and to be open to other possibilities. Oftentimes, this feeling of intuition is guiding you, and it guides you to a seeming dead end. Yet, if you insist on one particular outcome, you don't see that when you get to that dead end, that a little bit before you arrived, there was a fork in the road you didn't notice before. The mind thought, I'm supposed to go somewhere. You encountered a dead end. Yet when you open yourself to notice all of the details and notice that everything is happening for you, not against you, you will see that fork in the road that allows you to continue. So the heart's intelligence is vastly more powerful than the mind's intelligence. And the heart's intelligence can never mislead you. But in order to let the heart's intelligence work, you have to develop that powerful attitude of trust. We would like to speak more about this attitude of trust today as well, as trust is something that is needed in your own journeys and at a collective level on your planet. Many of you have difficulty trusting because your trust was betrayed as you were children. It's understandable that it's hard to trust because they outright lied to you about so many things. They told you stories of Santa Claus and all of these fantastical beings that they knew didn't exist, hence making you distrust in magic itself. Because there are so many fantastical beings that do exist, and so many in your world felt this deep betrayal in the ways that they were lied to. This is, in a sense, a soft example, because many of you have had your trust betrayed in much greater ways. And to open to this energy of trust again, you have to recognize who is it most important to actually trust. The most important being to trust is yourself. The most important being to trust is the intelligence of your own heart. The most important trust to have is that this heart intelligence is connected to the Great Spirit and is a transmission from the Great Spirit. When you allow yourself to trust your own intuition and trust your own feelings, then you can start to heal any issues you have with trust in the outer world. That healing of your own trust in yourself is the first step. And you cannot have trust for any other being until you have that trust in yourself. And trusting yourself also means trusting all of your emotions. Your emotions don't lead you wrong. Your emotions don't betray you ever. Many of you will attempt to fix and correct your emotions rather than understanding that Your emotions are simply asking for you to respond in a particular way. That's all that's happening. Oftentimes you will feel anger as you need to set a boundary and you need to reclaim your power. You will feel sadness because you need to create a deeper connection within yourself and with those around you. You might feel fear as you're being guided to create, again, a deeper level of connection to the world around you in a particular way. You might feel all sorts of emotions. And all of them have a particular purpose. Sometimes these emotions are present because of a deeper seated repression. Sometimes the emotions from past experiences live on in your being, as you know, as trauma. Yet even in these experiences, you need to have trust in what you are experiencing before you can heal it. It is this relationship of trust with your body and with your experience that will help you to trust others around you. And then, as you open yourself, it becomes very important to choose who you trust, as it's true that not everyone in your world is completely trustworthy. Can you trust others around you to have that same relationship with their emotions and their beliefs? As people will respond to you in the same way that they treat themselves. And this understanding is key for you to not take other people's behavior personally. Everybody contains every single archetype that exists within the human consciousness. Though, to particular people, one may represent a certain archetype or aspect within themselves. They might feel immense admiration for that being, and in this case, there's a projection of desired qualities and positive archetypes onto that being. Or they might feel a strong aversion to that being. And in this case, there's a projection of disowned and unintegrated aspects onto that being. You must be very aware that these processes are continuously taking place. This is your nature, to project, to assign meaning, and to witness yourself alive in other people. The more aware you become of the ways you do this as an individual, the more you will be able to see how other people do this at the same time. And when you become aware of what role they are playing for you and what role you are playing for them, you can decide, do I want to give my trust or not? Because to open yourself to another experience of betrayal will weaken and diminish your trust within yourself. And when you feel doubt, trust the doubt. That is the great paradox. In order to have complete trust, you must trust your own experience before anything else. By trusting in your doubt and opening curiously to why it's there, you will make sure that you don't force an opening before it's ready. The most challenging experiences that you have are when you force yourself to be open. Plant medicines can often do this to you. They can be your greatest healers, but they can become toxic when they are used to force an opening before that opening is ready, before you are ripe to open to that part of yourself, or open to an experience in a particular environment or with a particular person or group of people. So, trust in a complete way is the paradoxical trust in doubt. Knowing that everything you're experiencing for a reason. The question is, why? And when you understand the nature of the many different stories and archetypes that exist within all of you and that all of you play out, and how the mind projects them, you will be able to witness the more complex dance of energy that plays out between individuals and groups of people all the time. Opening yourself to love means witnessing all of this with compassion. Stepping into presence and discernment means moving more slowly in this process and being more deliberate in this process and not rushing any step of the process. For it is that deliberate and careful maneuver of energy that will allow you to be the most grounded in yourself, the most trusting in yourself, and establishing the relationships in that deep level of trust. This is in turn linked with your ability to trust beings and forms of consciousness beyond your human realm. And this is also the phase that your planet is in. We come through in one wave of telepathic connection to introduce you to the higher frequency energies and the higher frequency energy beings like ourselves, who also come in other ways, in ships that you may see, and will eventually land. Many of you are having these multidimensional experiences, and to be able to ground and integrate this energy, you need to have a deep level of trust. And you need to move through many layers of fear and release them so that you as an individual and you as a species can interact with beings that are very different than you, but are fundamentally the same as you. This shift is already taking place, and there's a gradual disclosure that is rippling through your world. It has been on the news, and some of you have seen it, that your government is acknowledging their understanding and observations of unidentified flying objects and all sorts of different things. And this is really just the beginning. It's the tip of the iceberg, and the iceberg will rise and rise to the surface more and more over the next decade. So be excited about this process, though understand it's not happening on its own. You're making it happen. And all of the shifts you're doing to move towards a more love-based consciousness are crucial steps in this process. We do thank you very much for allowing us to share this information with you at this time, to get to meet you in this way. And we ask you now, in which ways can we be of service to you with any of your questions, comments, musings, and sharings, whenever you wish.
I have a question.
Yes.
to the photon engine.
The key to the photon engine? What do you mean by the photon engine?
I'm pretty sure I was given instructions to build a photon engine. No? Yes, maybe?
Is this a physical device or is this an energetic device?
Both.
And what did you figure out so far?
Heat exchange?
All right. We would say that recognize that the photons are already all around you. The photons are quantum, and so they are here and they are elsewhere at the same time. They are a wave and they are a particle. So a key in this device is observation, and you will be able to dial in a sense, specific coordinates to allow this device to work. We don't understand all of the intricacies of what you've already envisioned, but we can clue you in on that at least.
I have a question.
Yes.
I consistently get omens in the shape of songs in my mind. And every time I tap into them, it seems like they're relevant and they're necessary. How do I strengthen this skill?
Listen to more music. And you may even want to listen to various radio stations. You can randomly move through the music sometimes and see that the radio can almost be like a specific kind of tarot deck with new information coming through relevant to the moment. So, in a sense, bringing in more information allows you to have a broader data bank to sort through. And at the same time, the skill is already working just perfectly. So watch out for a thought to make something better when it's already working just well. You can play more with this by again bringing in more randomness into the equation, though understand that your intuition is working just fine, and you will know what you need to know when you need to know it when you stay present.
Another question.
All right.
Are there beings outside our planet that are directing and influencing the lives of our species?
Yes. Influencing, directing, no. Because we cannot strip you of your free will. Now, there are many beings like ourselves that are influencing those of you who are choosing to open to us. Many of you call yourselves starseeds, many of you call yourselves light workers. There are other terms as well. The term does not essentially matter, though there's an energetic transference based in love that allows you to obtain information and insight from us that then goes on to influence the actions that you take in your world. Some of you simply use your connection to us for the purpose of healing and insight, and that alone is enough. Now, there's also the influence of more negative beings that are reptilian in nature, and this is happening with those who are choosing a fear-based consciousness. Oftentimes, these individuals do not have any awareness that this is taking place. Some of these individuals do have an awareness that it is taking place, but it is not very common for that to occur. So, there's many different entities that are involved in so many different sorts of interactions. And the idea is that these beings that are humans, rather, that are generally corrupt leaders, corporate leaders, and those who experience greed become like energy factories for the more negative beings who feed off the energy of fear. Behind all greed is a fear of loss of power and fear of individual destruction on some level. So, by working with these individuals to amplify their fear, the reptilian beings essentially get their energetic food from them. And they also get energetic food from those who suffer due to the harm inflicted by these greedy individuals. Though again, by raising your frequency into love and by working with the positive consciousness forms, like ourselves, not all of which are extraterrestrial in nature. There's again angels, there's positively oriented nature spirits, there's ascended masters, there's disincarnate beings of a positive orientation, there are your guardian ancestors. All of these beings based in love help you gain that insight to bring more of that love-based frequency into your world as well.
I have a question.
Yes.
Right now, there's a lot of fear amongst my fellow humans in our world about what we are learning about how our climate is changing and the consequences that may have on the survival of many of us due to the changing climate. And I observe that this leads to many people feeling hopeless and paralyzed by the fear. And I am curious what you can tell me about what is mine to do in helping people open their hearts to how to be in relationship with this reality.
Everything is holographic in its nature. So we can speak first of your own body. Your body develops perhaps an experience of chronic pain. And this pain afflicts a certain area or part of your body. You may not understand why. At the core, this pain is there because of repressed emotions, because of a feeling of fear and unsafety. Every person's situation is different. So we can only say generally that the core of this pain is emotion that is repressed. And then the pain that your body experiences is actually your body inviting you to get in touch with the emotions that are suppressed and the energies that are out of balance. There are many examples of this, but all dis-ease in this way is a teaching, is a way that your body is seeking to balance out the emotional and mental issues that are going on beneath the earth, beneath the surface. And yes, we extend this to the earth as well, that the problems with the earth are connected with the emotional imbalances on the human level. And so when you look at the energy of heat, it is connected with the emotion of anger. And there's a vast imbalance in these emotions of anger in your world. The heat is also connected with feelings of ambition. The fire element is very ambitious. And in your world, there is too much ambition and too much anger. There's too much righteousness, you could say. Everybody is letting their own internal fire burn too powerfully in one way or another. It is the greedy leaders who let their ambition drive them to be competitive. And it is at the same time those who react in fear and allow that fear to go unconscious and transform into anger. Anger that fights, anger that blames, anger that points fingers. And this excess fire in your human collective consciousness becomes manifest in your earth. This isn't to say that you are not polluting, because you are. This isn't to say that there is not too much carbon dioxide, because there is. But the reason for all of this is at the emotional, energetic core, this excess fire energy that is, again, ambition and anger. And by bringing in the balance of softening with the water element, the cooling element of care, of tenderness, of affection, of softening, then this will be the remedy. And so your role for helping others is to be compassionate to their fear, to be compassionate with their anger, and allow that compassion to dose the flames, to be an example embodied of that soft energy of water, to be the remedy for this fire that is so steeped into so many people. Even those who wish to be the medicine, the remedy to this, often will be adding more fuel to the fire with their anger and with their rage. There's no peace when these are the energies you are evoking. There's no solution when you try to use fire to put out the fire.
I have a question.
All right.
How can I work on trust if my trust has been breached? And what do I do next?
Do you trust yourself?
I'm trying to.
Can you trust your doubt as part of your intuition?
Yes.
So perhaps there's no reason to rush trusting others. And instead, the important first step is in trusting yourself and trusting what you're experiencing. This is as we've said.
How can I let go?
Let go of what in particular?
Trauma.
It's a day-by-day process. And the understanding that is crucial is that there are many protective layers and beliefs. These protective layers and beliefs support you to make sure that you don't feel the pain. Healing is feeling. And first of all, you have to feel the tension of the protective layers and work with these protective layers to gain their trust. An example of some protective layers are managers, perfectionists, critics, judges. These sorts of protective layers observe you and others in a judging way and make sure that everything is done perfectly, carefully. Other protectors have a very different approach, and when you feel intense emotion, they work to push that emotion away with addictions, with superficial relating, with sensory overstimulation, or with bypassing in a meditative way. These are all examples of other sorts of protectors. So the first step in healing is to witness which ways do you prevent yourself from feeling the pain and get in touch with how that feels. And then gradually allow yourself to seep into the pain that's beneath the surface. Make it safe to feel the rage. Make it safe to feel the deep sorrow. Make it safe to feel the fear and the shame. And also know that when these feelings become too much, you can go back to these protectors and use the protectors to pull yourself up should you reach a place of feeling that is overwhelming. That's why you want to deal with your protectors first, because they are, yes, protecting you, they are helping you, but they are also preventing you from fully healing. So when you become aware of them, and when you can first consult them before going to what they are protecting you from, you can, again, day by day, allow yourself to feel and heal what needs to be examined. And of course, having trusted friends who can be mirror reflections and hold you in love is key. And if you work with a therapist or some sort of healer in this process, that is also helpful. Though again, they're helping you to heal yourself, and it is this self-trust and this ability to sit with both your protectors and the pain beneath the surface that will be the deeper healing.
So then I have to ask another question.
Yes.
Are we supposed to be, in an emotional, trusting and sexual relationship with just one person? Or can I go against society's norms and be in a relationship with multiple people?
You can do whatever you want.
Thank you.
Doesn't matter.
It doesn't?
No. As long as you are not breaching the trust of the people you're relating with and making emotional problems for yourself and them, then as long as you are transparent and as long as you are caring, you can have as many partners as you want to have.
Thank you.
Yes.
Where are these protectors born from?
When emotions become too intense and traumatic experiences happen, and again, a traumatic experience can be one event that is horrendous, or it can be an ongoing pattern of stress or abuse. So when these things happen, the protectors come in to suppress the emotion. And once the habit is developed of suppressing the emotion in a particular way, the protector becomes part of your personality until you learn how to deal with the protector.
So that's the work then, is dealing with the protector.
Dealing with the protector and also dealing with the pain that they are protecting.
Oh, yeah.
And once you release the pain, the protector will become a different sort of inner warrior that gives you strength, but doesn't have to hold the weight of the burden that they are protecting you from. They will not go away, they will simply do what they're presently doing in a healthy, integrated way.
How old are you?
Timeless. When we say that, we are speaking of our collective consciousness as we are a telepathic species. We have a collective consciousness or a collective mind, and the channel is connected with a spirit guide that speaks on behalf of that collective consciousness. However, the being myself that the channel is bringing through in the equivalent of your Earth years is about 650 years old.
Does my life extend beyond this one?
Yes.
I know open the space for other people to ask more questions.
All right. We thank you.
Thank you.
How do I become deeper in tune with my ancestors?
Do you call them in?
I try to.
Do you practice some sort of shamanic journeying or visualization techniques?
Probably not as often as I could.
This will be helpful, and they will guide you from there. Though also then you can make offerings to them. They will tell you the particular things that they like. Some of these things you already like, so it won't be very difficult to acquire them. And then you can simply set them out for them to have.
Have the offerings that I've done in solitude and in the company of close relations been recognized?
Yes,
Okay.
they've been enjoyed very much.
Is there a message for me?
Well, what is your highest excitement? What do you love more than anything else?
Well, that's a loaded question.
All right, if you insist. It's very simple.
There's lots of things.
All right.
Yeah.
Which one comes to your heart now?
I think I got the answer.
All right.
Thank you.
Is there anything you'd like to share about that?
It's a journey I'm on,
All right.
working with healing,
Yes.
sacred geometry, and I think it's time to get back into that again.
Yes.
Kind of let it go for a little bit, so yeah.
The sacred geometry is the structure of your cells. It's the structure of the plants around you. It's the structure of the galaxies themselves. And this teaches you the interconnectedness of all things, and also allows you to witness that a change on one level ripples through all of the dimensions. So you're on the right track. And as you connect with crystals, they are reflecting to you some of these geometric forms. They are teaching you to attune to these subtle vibrations.
Thank you.
Yes.
I'd like to ask a question.
Yes.
Thank you for being here. I'm wondering how I can best serve my gifts and get out of the way, and connect that in turn with receiving what I need to be able to continue to share those gifts. And I just want to share that I recently met a favorite songwriter, and it felt like a really powerful meeting of kind of like brothers in some kind of way. And he shared, right as he was getting back onto the bus, he turned around back towards us and said, stay open to good news. So I want to be open to good news.
What do you suppose is in the way?
It feels like some combination of self-doubt, distraction, and in some ways societal structures that make it difficult for artists to exist in this world, especially maybe in America. But I don't want to blame that.
The word that came to us first was distraction. We didn't get that the other two were that important. Because distraction is the gateway for self-doubt. Notice that when you're actually performing and when you're in your flow of even preparing, sharing, envisioning, you don't feel the self-doubt. It's in the distraction that you become vulnerable to it. So don't seek to heal the self-doubt. Simply remove the distraction. Many of you think that you need to be healed before, but you have to remove that thought process. Because healing is an ongoing process. And as you are, again, a part of a world that you've just said is limited, is flawed, does create stress, you will always have something new to heal from. Many of you have accepted a distorted idea that when you have something to heal from, you are not yet perfect, and if you are not yet perfect, you don't yet deserve to be in the spotlight. And this keeps you in that old loop of not progressing and allowing other people to fill the role that you're meant to be in. So just remove the distraction. That's all. Just keep yourself persistently focused on what you want and the purpose of your sharing it. Remembering that your sharing of it is for the inspiration and the healing of others, is for the betterment of your world, is for renewed creativity and hope, and is for renewal and joy. And allow these energies to guide you. And be aware of the contrast between these energies and the things that distract you. Because what distracts you does not have any of these vibrations, or at least not to the same extent.
But what if something is hurting the planet and that is literally distracting us? Or distracting me? Like Mother Earth. Something is changing her.
Or many people are
Many people are
influencing the earth in a negative way.
What about geoengineering?
Though, become aware of your own capacity to control and to influence. In terms of things like geoengineering, you can raise the subject, though as you raise the subject, you can pray, you can encourage people to be informed, but remember, you aren't the one calling the shots. And so that's why being in your own personal reality and recognizing what you have control over is where your power becomes the most powerful. What you can influence is yours to be concerned with. And of course, you have some energetic influence on everything you focus on, observe, and therefore pray for. Though fear is a prayer for the worst. Hope is a prayer for improvement. So recognize when something negative is distracting you and you go into that energy of fear, you're essentially praying for what you don't want. So you can use the fact that fear has been triggered to help you heal some of your own wounds, to help you heal the trauma that has inspired, or that has rather left the imprint of fear upon you. And bringing compassion and love to your fear is also part of how you will heal the world, as within, so without. As you heal the microcosm of your own experience, that energy ripples out onto the world around you.
Thank you.
Yes.
A question.
All right.
Should I keep taking my Adderall?
No.
Is it exciting for you?
No.
All right. Then why are you doing it if it is not exciting for you?
So I can stay focused.
Have you considered other ways of staying focused?
Nope.
All right. Well, consider what the Adderall does and consider other ways of doing it. As Adderall regulates your dopamine production, it's understandable that you would need something to regulate your dopamine production, because all of you do. Especially, some of you have a neuro makeup that is essentially not as equipped at regulating your dopamine as others. And then it's okay to use something to help that process. Though that something can simply be caffeine. It can be theobromine. Though even that alone is flawed. The most powerful thing to regulate your production of dopamine is meditation. Mindfulness meditation, or mantra meditation, or breath awareness meditation are all powerful ways of regulating your own production of dopamine. You will also have to make sure that you don't spike your dopamine as much, because when you create these huge releases of dopamine through sugar, through excess use of social media and screens, extremely stimulating media content, alcohol, and various drugs, you set up a spike and crash pattern. The Adderall helps you compensate for that. So it's okay to use that as you gradually intend to change your patterns, because in order to function at the level you do without it, you will have to change your patterns.
Thank you for asking that question. That was helpful.
Though remember, most importantly, have compassion for yourself. That change is difficult. Change is something to grieve. Change is something that takes time. So there's no shame, there's no worry even. There's just awareness of motivation. When you bring awareness to motivation and become curious, what motivates this? What motivates that? Then you will be able to bring about this change with greater ease.
I have a question.
All right.
About a year and a half ago, what I perceive as suddenly, my left ankle started being painful and out of alignment and inflamed, and I've sought help from various body workers and other methods of tending that, and it's gone in and out of the pain and inflammation, and sometimes found more alignment. But in the last 3 or 4 months, the pain has spread to both of my feet and both of my ankles, and a lot in, I think, my Achilles tendons. And I am working on healing that, and also feeling a bit of mystery and confusion around it still. Sometimes not knowing how to tend to that, and currently not having money to see people that I feel could help me, and I know I have a lot of power to heal myself. Yeah, I'm wondering if you have anything that you see or can share about that, either why it's been happening or how I can help the healing process.
Part of it is feeling unsupported. So, creating a sense of support for yourself, first of all. How can you support yourself? As you said, there are many ways that you know you can be working on it. And become curious about that. And without forcing something to work or be a solution, open yourself to the ways that you can support yourself. Part of this is also feeling inflexible, unable to adapt to the pressures of society. It is, in a sense, a belief in defeatedness towards the pressures of your world. So, come to acknowledge this belief, first of all, and then also start to challenge these beliefs. Is it really true that I cannot support myself and cannot be supported within this situation? Is it really true that I'm not able to receive the help that I'm seeking? Other methods of exchange might become a new form of currency for you. Sometimes you are not receiving the support you need because you don't ask for it, because you don't believe that you can provide the exchange needed. But if you were to open up and to find what felt fair and within your reach, and within others' reach, then you would find that sometimes you're able and capable of actually fulfilling those exchanges. Now, we would encourage you as well to practice Qi Gong, particularly oriented towards your ankles and your feet. Rotating the ankles in particular ways, moving the toes, moving the knees, moving the hips. This can be very supportive in allowing some of this energy to circulate and flow.
Thank you.
Yes.
I'd like to ask a follow-up question that's more in the specific realm of following gifts. There's something that feels important about the next month. It felt like this previous month of August and the end of July was a lot about receiving what I needed to hear to move forward into the next stages. And what I'm noticing is that there's a lot of potential now for us to go forth and create. There's these shows scheduled and these venues are opening for us to be able to offer different gatherings. And there's a tendency for me to want to collapse into some kind of fallback in financial kind of world, whether that's like working for School of Rock and teach kids music that I don't really like, or to do some landscaping that doesn't feel good, so there's these kind of fallback options, and there's some things that I just need to take care of myself on a basic level. And I'm wondering specifically kind of what to focus on this month. Because it feels like there's a lot of potential to step into my gift, and there's also fear involved because I'm kind of in the red financially. Yeah.
So you're asking about taking a risk, or not?
Yeah, to take a risk into just jump into gifts, or to find something that would bring me a little bit of stability potentially.
Is there potential that if you gave your all into your gifts that you would be able to make more than you presently anticipate?
Definitely. There's
What-
also the potential I could fall flat on my face. But
And then what would happen?
I might have to ask for help.
And then what would happen?
It would be a hit to my pride, and I might receive a no. And then I might have to do the fallback thing.
And so it would lead you to the same destination eventually, and you would gain some knowledge in the process. You would come to see if the option was viable, and if it wasn't viable, you'd learn a lesson. You would be able to release some of those ego beliefs and open to the energy of interdependence. We see it as being very positive. We see it as being very transformative. We see it as the greatest possibility of accelerating the growth of your gifts and accelerating the probability of them manifesting in the way that you seek. It's edgy, it's fun. Look at it that way.
You're saying to take the
Yes.
risk is
Yes.
that you're saying.
And if you fall back later. Why fall back before you have to? Take the risk first and then fall back. Don't fall back before you even have put your energy into what you want.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yes.
There's one other question I'd like to ask if it's not too much.
All right.
Some 6 years ago or something, it doesn't really matter. In the winter time, I was walking on the beach at night, and I had eaten some mushrooms, and I was with some friends, and I saw a star, and I didn't know what the star was. And I kind of always had some derision towards the New Age that I saw as New Age belief that we come from different star systems. It's funny to say that to you, but
All right.
I'd had that kind of belief.
We understand. Because it's not true that you come from a specific star. It is true that everyone has many connections to beings from various stars.
Well, what I saw when I saw this star, or what I felt inside of me was, oh my God, I come from there. And it was this bright blue star, and I looked it up on the star app that I had, and it was Sirius.
Yes.
And I've been integrating blue and orange in my body, and death and life and a willingness to live in this body. And I'm just wondering if you have anything to say about my connection to Sirius.
You have soul counterparts or other incarnations in the Syrian plane. And the Syrians are very much connected with sound and creativity for you. They sometimes come to you at an unconscious level in the process of songwriting, and their energy can assist you more in understanding the power of transmission through sound. These are beings that are very mystical and spiritually oriented, and they are a guiding light to your world and a guiding light to many. So their energy is also inspiring in you the power to be a guiding light to others.
Thank you so much.
Yes. Our thanks to all of you, our thanks to each and every one of you. We would invite you to take a moment, closing your eyes, tuning within, and visualize a brilliant glowing star in your heart. Feeling the star get brighter and brighter. Visualizing then a brilliant glowing star in the center of your earth, with roots of light that connect from your heart down through many layers of the earth, to the earth's core where the star shines very bright. And visualize another star in the center of your galaxy, within its supermassive black hole. It's brilliant, large, and fantastic, and connected with your own heart. Feel the energy flow between these stars, and that all of the light is the same light. It is the one light of the source. This energy is infinite. This energy is vast. This energy traverses all the dimensions and is available as soon as you imagine it and focus upon it. Because it is your energy at a cosmic level, as all is one. Can you accept this energy? Can you trust it? As it is unconditional and always there for you. Allow this energy to reach the crown of your head, where it creates a waterfall-like effect through your body. This downward flow of energy washes through you, washes out any energy that needs to transform. This energy drains down into the Earth star that receives it and releases it instantaneously. This shower of energy washes through your neck and shoulders, washes out your arms and out through your hands and fingertips, washes down your abdomen, your hips, knees, and ankles, releasing. Remember, this energy is always there for you. Remember, we and your other guides are always there for you. That you are your higher self. And you must not seek it outside, but bring that energy inward, to reach those fragments, to reach those protectors, to reach the pain beneath them, and allow them to integrate. That all of this energy is there for a reason. We love you very much, and we thank you very much for this interaction, and we wish you a fantastic rest of your evening then.